transferred to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Power Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with The Moose, and we're here for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Italy Serie A games from the 31st of October until the 4th of November 2024. And you can see all the details for the matches we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, along with the fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers.
Yeah, if you look in the description of our podcast, you can find direct clickable links to all the matches we're about to discuss. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply, 18 plus gamble aware. First three matches are all Thursday night games, so tonight. So we're just going to do those in a summary. First one is Genoa, who are in 20th position, who take on Fiorentina, who are in 5th. Kicks off on Thursday, 31st of October, 5:30 p.m. kickoff. And visit, of course, footballpredictions.net for your local kickoff times, betting odds, and all the broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location for this match. And for this one, you can actually live stream it on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365. Now, for this game, we've, or maybe predictably, gone for a Fiorentina win. We've gone for an under 2.5 goals game prediction. And for a score, we've gone for 1-0 to Fiorentina.
Yes, and another Thursday night game is Como in 13th at home to Lazio in 6th. And it kicks off Thursday, 31st of October at 7:45 UK time. It's another game you can stream free and live on Bet365 using bonus code FP365. For this one, we're going with a both teams to score prediction and a score draw. So we're going with a 1-1 correct score. So 1-1 in Como Lazio.
And the final summary game here for Thursday night is Roma in 12th versus Torino, who are in 9th. Kicks off on Thursday tonight, 31st of October, 7:45 in the UK time. Watch it on footballpredictions.net, and it's live streamed on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365. So for this one, it's maybe not as close as some people might imagine it we're predicting, but we've gone for a Roma win. We're going to go for a under 2.5 goals game, and we're going to go for 2-0 to Roma against Torino. Now, to our more detailed games, we've got the weekend ones. So we've got Bologna currently in 10th, up against Lecce, who are 19th. This is on Saturday, 2nd November, 2 p.m. kickoff in the UK, that is. So for this game, go to our page on footballpredictions.net, of course, and you can find your local kickoff time, betting odds, and available viewing options. Again, one live streamed, as usual, on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it subscription free and at no cost. What do we think of these two teams coming to this one?
Yeah, Bologna's had a really interesting season. They obviously qualified for the Champions League last season, and although they are yet to win in the Champions League, even still yet to score in the Champions League, actually the Serie A season is starting to take shape. Last week, they beat Cagliari away. They beat them 2-0. And overall, so far, they've had 2 wins, 6 draws, but just 1 defeat. And that was at the very beginning of the season when they lost 3-0 at Napoli. Napoli, who we know is top of the league in the Serie A. So you could be forgiven for losing that game. But yeah, since that defeat, they've had 5 draws, 2 wins. One of them was last week at Cagliari. The latest home game that we have to go all the way back to beginning of October, that was a 0-0 draw at home to Parma. Lecce, on the other hand, they were not in great form until Football Predictions predicted them to beat Verona last weekend. We said Lecce were going to turn their fortunes around at home to Verona. And guess what? They beat Verona 1-0 in that game.
Come on.
Sorry, that was the midweek game, but they beat them 1-0, and we predicted them to win that midweek game. Before that, it had looked pretty bad for Lecce because they had 4 defeats in a row, all without scoring, and some quite comprehensive defeats as well. They lost 6-0 at home to Fiorentina, and then they had away defeats at Napoli, Udinese, and AC Milan. All outcomes that we predicted on footballpredictions.net. So yeah, going into this game, Bologna actually looking quite good now in the Serie A. Lecce, yes, they had that win against Verona, but we think they're going to struggle again at Bologna.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Lecce, we can't see them struggling 2 games in a row, 2 wins in a row, I should say. So for this one, though, our tip is under 2.5 goals, and odds on that you can get of 1.67. So, yeah, we think it'll be a low-scoring game, but we do think Bologna will get the win, and at home, of course. Odds there you can get at 1.62, so there are odds-on favourites to actually win the game. And, Lecce are without an away win for the last 7 matches in the league. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult for them, we think. Regarding the correct score, we've gone for 2-0 to the home side, and you can get odds of that of just 7 or 6-1. Not great. Poll on the website, which you can vote in yourself. Just go to our page and the clickable links you'll find in the description. 65% of you think Bologna will get the win, 18% like Lecce for the win, and the other 18 or so odd are going for a draw, and most of those going for a 0-0 draw. So that kind of holds true with our under 2.5 thinking as well, if what you're thinking is the same as what we're thinking. Anyway, just so you know as well, the betting for a draw is 3.6 odds, and you can get odds of 6.5 for a Lecce away win. Next, we have got Udinese in 7th, who take on Juventus in 4th. Kicks off on Saturday, 2nd November, 5 p.m. kickoff. Of course, go to footballpredictions.net and you'll find your local kickoff time, betting odds, and all the broadcast streaming options available in your area. Of course, this one you can watch again on Bet365. Use the bonus code FP365 and you'll be able to watch it subscription free. Now, kind of mixed results for both of these sides lately, aren't they?
Yeah, it really is. Like Udinese has been, they did start the season quite well. They had 3 wins from 4. They had 10 points from their first 4 games this season in the Serie A. But however, over the last 6 games, they've only picked up 2 wins from 6, and then they have 4 defeats, 2 wins. However, those 2 wins are at home, and Udinese in general at home have been fairly solid. They won 4 games so far this season out of 5 at home, most recently. And last weekend, we had a prediction of them to beat Cagliari at home, beat them 2-0. And prior to that, they beat Lecce 1-0. And they also had a home win in the Coppa Italia against Salernitana, which we predicted. So we predicted their last 3 home wins, including the Coppa d'Italia. They did have a defeat at home to Inter Milan, it has to be said, and that one we also predicted. We said 3-1, ended 3-2 to Inter Milan. This midweek, we had a both teams to score prediction at Venezia, and it ended 3-2 to Venezia in that game. But Udinese really is kind of like a home and away team. They have 3 straight defeats away from home. They have just 1 win away from home all season. However, like I just said, at home they got 4 wins and then that 1 defeat. When it comes to Juventus, wow, like up until last weekend, they conceded just 1 goal in the Serie A so far this season. However, what happened over the last week? 2 draws. First, 4-4 at Inter Milan, and then a 2-2 draw at home to Parma. So they conceded 6 goals over the past week. And so yeah, something happened there to the defense at Juve, but nevertheless they picked up 2 points. They still got a very healthy position in the Serie A. They're sitting 3rd. However, they are 8 points behind Napoli now with those 2 draws. Away from home, Juve has had 2 wins and 2 draws so far this season, but overall Juve is a team that's, again, although they have conceded 6 goals, been very hard to break down, and it will be very hard for Udinese in this game as well.
Yeah, it's interesting, looking at the head-to-heads, because traditionally Udinese really struggle against Juventus, and but in their last meeting in February, which was actually held away, at Juventus, Udinese won 1-0. So, but that was a rarity. Usually they lose home and away or get the odd draw. But so that was maybe a slightly freakish result. But at home this time, I know it's a different season, but let's see how it goes. We were actually predicting an under 2.5 goals game, a bit of a traditional Italian grind out kind of game, and a win for Juventus. So yeah, we've gone for them to win. Odds of a win of 1.95 for Juventus. And if you like our tip for under 2.5 goals, you can get that at 1.57. So that kind of indicates the bookies are probably expecting something similar in terms of the under 2.5 goals. Now, for a correct score prediction, we have actually gone for a 1-0 away win, and you can get odds of that for just 6 or 5-1. So not massive. Our poll that we have on the website, which you can partake in yourself, 14% of people think it'll be Udinese home win, 50% think Juventus will win, and the remaining 36% think that it will be draw, and 29% of those are score draw. So yeah, we're going to stick by what we think is going to be the away win, ground out by Juventus, 1-0, and we will see if we are correct. Next, we have Monza, 17th, taking on AC Milan, 8th. And this is on Saturday, the 2nd of November, 7:45 UK time, in the evening, of course. Visit us on footballpredictions.net and you'll find your local kickoff time, betting odds, and all the broadcast streaming channels tailored to you for this match. Of course, you can get it on Bet365. Use that bonus code FP365 and you can live stream it subscription free. And again, another couple of clubs that are quite up and down of late.
Yes, a very mixed bag of results for both teams, with AC Milan either winning or losing, like including in the Serie A over the past 6 games. He recorded 4 wins and 2 defeats. The most recent defeat came midweek when they played at home to Napoli. Of course, Napoli sitting top, so that was a good win for Napoli, but less so for AC Milan, because what it means is they're now down to 8th in the Serie A, and he's sitting on just 14 points after 9 games. So that was slightly disappointing. It has to be said that we had that as an under 2.5 goal game. So yeah, they lost 2-0, had under 2.5 goals. In the Serie A, the most recent away game was at Fiorentina. That was another defeat for AC Milan. They lost that game 2-1. In between, they had a home win against Udinese. They won that 1-0, and we predicted them to also beat Udinese in that game. Of course, they had a quite famous away win in the Milan derby, because prior to Fiorentina away, they played Inter Milan away, and they won that game 2-1. So yeah, it's been very mixed for AC Milan. They've had some good results, but then also they've had 2 defeats from 3 now in the Serie A. Going into this Monza game against a Monza team who's sitting in 17th with just 1 win all season. That was at Verona. They beat them 3-0. But midweek, they failed to score again. Midweek, they played at Atalanta. We predicted them to go down with a defeat at Atalanta. They lost that game 2-0. And then last weekend, in the home game against Venezia, they drew 2-2. But yeah, overall, Monza, very mixed bag of results of late. They have only just lost to Atalanta, so 1 defeat from 4. Prior to that, the defeats came against Napoli and Bologna, so some fairly good teams. But yeah, AC Milan on their day, which they showed at Inter Milan, is also a good team, and they can get it together on the day. Now the question is, will they get it together on the day at Monza?
Yeah, well, AC Milan, like you said, a bit of a roller coaster ride at the moment. Win, loss, win, loss. It's not been great, but also at the same time, they don't score a lot of goals. So just looking at their last 6 matches, they've scored an average of 1.33 goals per game. So only 8 goals in 6 games. So but by the same token, Monza haven't won at home in their last 9 league games. So that's not a lot of joy for home fans, and we think that'll probably continue on here as well. So we've gone for a low scoring game. Under 2.5 goals is what we think. That's what we're hoping for, and you get odds of that of 2, so pretty good. Regarding the result, we think it'll be an AC Milan win, and if you like that, you can get odds of 1.73 for that one. And we think it's going to be 1-0, so low scorer, away win, 0-1 I should say. So away win, 1-0 to AC Milan. And odds there you can get if you go for a correct score of 7.5. Regarding other odds, a Monza win, you can get 5.25, so big odds on that, and a draw 3.8. On our poll, 20% of you think Monza actually can win at home, 47% AC Milan, and the rest coming up with a draw. Now, the last featured match is a big one because you've got two hot informed teams. Napoli, top of the league, doing really well under Antonio Conte, and they're taking on Atalanta, who are third. So this one is going to be great. Kicks off on Sunday, 3rd November, 11:30 in the morning in the UK. So it's the lunchtime kickoff here in Italy. Of course, visit us on footballpredictions.net to see your local kickoff time and the betting odds, the broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location, and get it on Bet365. Use the bonus code FP365 and stream this cracker live, and use it using our bonus code FP365 to watch it subscription free. Now, I don't see many losses between these clubs of late, do we?
Definitely not. Like, these are two very much informed teams. I mean, of course, Napoli is because they're sitting top of the Serie A. Look, they have one defeat all season. That was the very first game of the season at Verona, but ever since then, they've been on a great run. They've conceded just 2 goals since beginning of the season, and for the last 3 games, they've had a clean sheet. If we just go through some of their results, they beat AC Milan 2-0 midweek. We had under 2.5 goals in that game. We also had under 2.5 goals last weekend when they beat Lecce 1-0 at home. We, of course, had Napoli to win that game on the outcome. Away to Empoli, we said Napoli were going to win 1-0 at Empoli. They beat them 1-0. We said they were going to beat Como 3-0. They beat them 3-1. And we said they were going to beat Monza 2-0, and they beat Monza 2-0. So that's just a selection of the last 5 results for Napoli, where we've had 2 correct scores, we've had the outcomes, and we've had the goals markets on 4 out of 5 there. So that's a very good run by Napoli. They are sitting top. However, Atalanta, on the other hand, are really getting into form as well. They did have a kind of a slow start to the season. They actually had only got 2 wins from their first 6 games in the Serie A. But then they beat Genoa 5-1 at home, Venezia 2-0 away, and finally last weekend they beat Verona 6-1, and then midweek they beat Monza 2-0. So from having won only 2 from 6, they've now won 4 in a row, and they're up to third in the Serie A. Also in the Champions League, has to be said, we just have to mention the results there, because they actually not conceded a single goal yet in the Champions League, which are games that have kind of filled in between their most recent schedule. So overall the form of Atalanta is very good. We have predicted of the most recent outcomes, we predicted 5 out of 6. We're looking good on the predictions here for both teams. This is going to be a very interesting game where Napoli can either extend that lead at the top, or maybe Atalanta can let themselves back in.
Yeah, and just looking at the stats on this is quite fascinating. Napoli have been so stingy at the back. They've only conceded 1 goal in the last 6 games, and you look at Atalanta, and they've actually only conceded 3 goals in the last 6 games. So, but at the same time, Atalanta have scored 17 goals in those games. So, wow, could go really either way, couldn't it? But we like the look of both teams to score prediction for this one, because both teams do usually score, of course. That's why they're up there in the table. So we're going to go for both teams to score prediction. Odds of that you can get at 1.67. But for a full-time result prediction, a drum roll please, we think it's going to be Napoli, and we think they'll win. Odds there you can get at 2.1 at the moment. We think they'll continue on with their winning ways and keep having such a great season. Atalanta do have a few injuries to deal with. 2-1 is the correct score prediction we've gone for, and you get odds there of at the moment of 9 or 8-1 on our poll. Take part in our poll if you don't usually. It's quite useful to get a gauge of who else is what other people are thinking. 50% of people also like a Napoli home win. 11%, only 11% think Atalanta. But a lot of people thinking a draw. That's another 39% thinking a draw. So yeah, let's face it, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close. You've got Romelu Lukaku up there. Maybe he'll score. But yeah, we will have to wait and see. But it will be good. Anyway, let's go on now with the rest of our summary games. We've got Torino in 9th playing Fiorentina in 5th. Kicks off on Sunday, the 3rd of November, 2 p.m. UK time, and stream it live on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're not a member already of them. And for this game, we've actually gone for an under 2.5 goals game. We've got a score. We think Fiorentina will get the win, and we think they'll win 1-0.
Yes, and moving on to Hellas Verona in 15, taking on Roma in 12th. This is a game that takes place Sunday, 3rd of November at 5 o'clock UK time. It's another game you can stream live and free on Bet365 using bonus code FP365. For this game, we're going with a both teams to score prediction, a Roma win, and a correct score of 2-1 Roma.
Yeah, moving on to Inter Milan, who are up there in 2nd, who take on Venezia, who are down there in 18th. Sunday, 3rd of November, 7:45 UK time in the evening. Now, this one, we've decided that Inter Milan will continue on with a win against lowly Venezia. We've gone for an over 2.5 goals game in this one. I think there'll be quite a few goals. And we've actually elected for a 3-0 home win to Inter Milan.
Yes. And moving on to Monday at 5:30. So this is a Monday, 4th of November, 5:30 UK time kickoff. It's Empoli in 11th, taking on Como in 13th. For this game, we're going with a score draw of 1-1. So both teams to score and a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, next we've got Parma in 14th to take on Genoa. 20th. It kicks off on Monday as well. There's lots of Monday night football. 4th of November, 5:30 p.m. UK time kickoff. And for this game, we believe that it's going to be close, but we think it's going to be both teams to score. And we've gone for a 2-1 win for Parma.
Yeah. And Lazio in 6th takes on Cagliari in 16th. This is also a Monday night kickoff, Monday, 4th of November at 7:45 UK time. Another game you can follow live on Bet365 using our bonus code FP365. For this game, we're going with a Lazio win, both teams to score prediction, and a correct score of 3-1 Lazio.
A reminder that if you're going to watch any of these matches on Bet365, geolocation and live stream rules apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org, and use the bonus code FP365 if you haven't already got an account.
Yes, and in the description section of this podcast, you'll see the links to the matches we've just covered, or simply visit footballpredictions.net. That way, you can have a look at the online places to see the games from your locations via streaming and TV channels, our predictions for different betting markets, team news, as well as the latest offers and odds.
And if you weren't already aware, we record these football podcasts across several competitions, including Serie, and you can hear them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net, or where you download your favorite podcasts such as Apple, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. We're probably on it. That's all. Thanks for listening. And for now, it's
Ciao.
Arrivederci.
A football prediction.